Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we want to revisit something that does not get any media coverage like it used to during the evil Orange Man's administration, and that is, of course, random attacks, random acts of violence against Asian individuals. And the reason nobody talks about this is because, of course, the perpetrators in these particular cases are disproportionately black, and it has nothing to do with the evil Orange Man at all whatsoever. And since he's no longer in office, we could just kind of pretend it away. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who signed up over at actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And remind you that this show is available in podcast form. Links to that in the description of this video.
New at 11, she never saw it coming. The video, almost hard to watch. A San Francisco woman is attacked by a stranger from behind. And the entire assault you see right here is caught on camera.
So right off the top, obviously, I have to freeze frame this particular video because this new segment opens with the vicious attack. But for those of you who aren't going to click the link in the description to watch it for yourself or listening via podcast, I want to point out that this is what you would be seeing if I could actually show this without getting age restricted and crippled by the YouTube gods. So, Asian woman comes into the store. She's perusing the aisles. Before this, she actually waved to the store owner, which I will show you a little bit later. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a woman comes in from the entrance, runs up behind her, and I didn't realize this until I saw this multiple times. She actually grabs this woman's hair from behind, then smashes her over the head with a bag that contained a bunch of glass bottles, and then proceeds to punch her over and over and over again. This is the random kind of assaults that we're experiencing in the city of San Francisco, in the state of California, and this is due in large part to the fact that there are no consequences for this kind of criminality, and there's not even any attention paid to these crimes now that the evil Orange Man is out of office, and people can't blame anti-Asian attacks or attacks on Asian people that people perceive to potentially be anti-Asian attacks on said Orange Man. But it actually gets a little bit worse as we go through this.
Tonight, we are hearing from the woman who says she was just making a stop at her neighborhood corner store. Here's NBC Bay Area's Gia Vang.
Now look, I'm just going to say Audrey Assistio, attractive woman, but it would be more useful if Audrey Assistio gave some assistioance to this particular woman. Yeah, yes, I just made that joke. And you know what? I'm going to leave it in the video. You guys make fun of my comedy in the comments of this, but let's get back to this.
That's Kate Reichen walking into her Potrero Hill neighborhood corner store Tuesday afternoon. She waves hi to the store owner, and then a woman in a pink sweatshirt comes in and out of nowhere grabs Kate's hair from behind while slamming a bag with a bottle of Jack Daniels onto her head and begins her assault.
And I was hit over the head with a plastic bag that had glass bottles in it.
So again, they show the video, so I have to freeze frame it, and like I said in the open, she comes in, she waves to the store owner. Again, polite, wholesome person, Kate Reichen. And all of a sudden, this woman blitzes in here and just decides that she's going to go for Kate Reichen.
And then she just immediately started punching me in the head. I'm not sure how many times. I had no clue what was going on.
Now, we don't know if she was trying to attack her for a personal reason, although Kate Reichen said she had no interaction with this woman outside of the store. We don't know if the attacker saw her and recognized her from behind or thought she recognized her from behind, because it is entirely possible that she never saw Kate Reichen's face because she, again, attacked her completely from behind, smashing her over the head and then started punching her in the back of the head. But this is just a thing that happened, a random act of violence in a state where they don't take this stuff seriously. And by the way, there's something that really bothered me about this, although I will point out that she did ultimately end up getting arrested for this, which also led to something that bothered me, and that is the store owner intervenes, which is absolutely great, heroic even, but he kind of gently shoves the attacker to the side, and I understand that Kate Reichen is more important in this situation, the victim, but she could have easily took off and ran away if she wasn't a potentially crazy person, because the police eventually showed up, and that woman was still on the scene and ultimately ended up getting arrested for her actions, but only because she was still on the scene.
The whole thing she never saw coming lasted fewer than 10 seconds, ending with the store owner of Kansas Food Market stepped in, tossing the woman out. Video shows a shocked and hurt Kate laying on the ground wondering who and why, when she said she had no interaction with anyone outside.
Now, a lot of us look at this woman, maybe in her 30s, maybe in her 40s, maybe even her 50s. Honestly, I'm not great at aging people, and think to ourselves, you know what? That's absolutely horrible what happened to this woman. I hope that criminal gets held accountable. But a lot of people on the left wing, and unfortunately, they have infected California, both on the local level and the statewide level, look at this video, look at this woman in pain on the ground, and think, I bet you that woman who swung the Jack Daniels bottle at her and then proceeded to beat her is going through poverty or a mental health crisis, or is the real victim. And instead of holding her accountable, we should hold poverty accountable. We should hold capitalism accountable. We should hold the systemic systems, the systemic structures accountable, because God forbid we ever hold a criminal responsible for their actions ever in the history of ever. It is ridiculous and absurd, but in reality, most of these people would be most angry related to this story with the fact that she had a plastic bag, because in California, you shouldn't have plastic bags, and that's the real issue. Also, they would be calling for us to, arrest poverty, find out what poverty is wearing, do we have a description for poverty, and I find that to be disgusting, because even though this person ultimately ended up being arrested, even though they were charged, even though we find out that they were already on parole, which we'll talk about later, in reality, in the state of California, due to a law that they passed, this person would not be eligible for prison. So they would be referred to the county jail, and since the county jail is full, they would be dumped back onto the streets, even if arrest, which happened, prosecution, which is happening, and conviction, which we can be hopeful for, ends up going through, this woman will still be out there to do this again. And people will act surprised when she does this again, just like they acted surprised when her, with a repeat criminal history, committed this attack.
When it happened on Tuesday afternoon, afterwards I was just in complete and total shock. Yesterday I was crazy angry, and today I'm just completely overwhelmed. So we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, I feel absolutely terrible for this lady. She's going through a cycle of different emotions based on the fact that this was a traumatic experience. And I just want to point out that the people who pay the consequences for these bad left-wing policies are people like her, average, everyday people that want to go to their regular stores, want to live in their regular community, that wave hello to the store owners, that end up being victimized by these random attacks, end up having to wonder if this is going to happen again. And this particular attack with this particular randomness ends up really negatively impacting somebody. You're always going to be paranoid. You're always going to be on edge. You're always going to be wondering, because if it is in fact true that there was no actual cause of this, there was no motivating factor, this was just a woman losing her mind, going crazy, or even targeting somebody else that she mistook her for, that is not comforting for the victim right here. And again, we should have a criminal justice policy that focuses on justice first and foremost, then the victims, and of course, holding the criminals accountable instead of coddling them and catering to them.
Today, Jessica Blasey pleaded not guilty at an arraignment after the district attorney's office charged the 26-year-old with 2 counts of assault. She was arrested while SFPD was on scene investigating. We're learning Blasey's also being held on a parole violation. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins said in a statement, it is random acts of violence like this that negatively impact a feeling of safety. She goes on to say her office is committed to, quote, ensuring that we have appropriate accountability for those who commit crimes.
Now, like I said, the suspect in this particular attack just kind of hung around this particular area. She is described as 26-year-old Jessica Blasey, who is out on parole, again, not experiencing consequences for past criminal actions, and she's being charged with 2 counts of assault. Now, I did talk about, and I am 100% clear about the fact that a lot of these attacks are disproportionately committed by black people against Asians, and this person could possibly be somebody who fits in with that trend, but I have to be perfectly honest with everybody out there in the audience. I've zoomed in on this video, and based on the lighting or whatever, I actually can't get an ethnic origin from this person just based on the look of it. So I don't want to make the hard claim that this is a black woman without any evidence of that, or Latino person, or even a white person, because based on my viewing of this video, it could be ambiguous. Now, I've looked for a mugshot, I've looked for any kind of information, I haven't been able to find that. If somebody has it, please link it. I don't want to be one of those people that just implies something or infers it. I want to give you my thought process as it's going on in real time, but that's not the reason why I'm covering this particular story. Here we have another incident of an Asian person being attacked, randomly assaulted, and not a whisper of a potential hate crime, not a whisper of this potentially being seeing a broader trend or anything like that. We just have, oh, well, you know, she kind of did the attack and, you know, she hasn't been held accountable by the criminal justice system before, and it's vicious and horrible, but, you know, one-off issue, never national news, never anything to worry about, and we'll all just pretend that we don't know anything about what's going on in this situation, or that crime hasn't gotten a little bit out of control in San Francisco, or that not prosecuting anyone for anything doesn't have consequences. So in reality, regardless of this person's ethnic origin or race or anything like that, the fact of the matter is, policy has led people like this to be given chance after chance after chance, and innocent people suffer. Now, those are my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like. Subscribe for more content. Follow me on my social medias. Support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about another attack on an Asian woman, an absolutely brutal one caught on video that will likely result in no consequences. Till next time.